First of all, I'm gonna say this: the parents believed in them. The parents listened to what they had to say, about their children, and sometimes they kind of had to help the parents with certain little situations that they were going through. Just letting them know you may be going through a lot, but our job is to educate your children, and we're going to do the best that we can. And if there's any situations at home that we can kind of help with, we'll do that too. So that's one of their legacies that they had.
Geraldine Drew. I taught at Prescott 39 years. U. Davis.
And how many years did you teach at Prescott?
25 and a half years.
Claudine Wright, and I taught 31 years here at Prescott.
Carol Young, and I taught at Prescott. It was over 20 some odd years that I taught at Prescott.
Zarita Sharp, and I taught at Prescott in the year 1998 through to 2012.
Sasase Ya Omawale. If you add it all up from 1989 to now, 30 years.
Sardine Mundy. I'm an instructional assistant here at Prescott. I've been at the school for exactly 31 school years.
Linda Fox, and I worked at Prescott for 23 years.
Eileen Moffett, and I taught at Prescott in the classroom for 20 years, and then another 7 years working full-time with Prescott Circus.
I started in February of 1966. I retired May 30th, 2005. The retirement letter it said 39 and a half years, but a half year was not counted because I was off with pregnancy. So it was really about 40 years.
Dorothy Scott, and I taught at Prescott for 42 years.
We participated in CACSIA, and at the culmination of the week there, Carrie Secret's children did a presentation. Ooh, we cried so until we just cried. Her presentation was don't let anything or anyone steal your spirit.
That's one. And the other one was my meeting Johnny Perry for. That's a fond memory because he was a little boy who had been just terrorizing, I would say, most of the yard. But when he walked into my room, I looked at him and just said, "It's over." And then I asked him to trust me, and if he trusted me, he would read before he left me. And that was a fond memory because we've developed a strong bond. Even to this day, I think if I saw him, it would be very special.
One young man, Dwayne Patterson. I never will forget Dwayne. Dwayne kept talking. Dwayne brought his fiance when he was in college. He told her, he said, "This lady right here is the cause of me in college where I am now." Ms. Davis. She encouraged me, and I said, "I'm going on to college too."
There was one year when the school district made this decision that because our numbers were a little off, they were going to have to cut back by one full class. And they were choosing to do this, I think it was like end of January or beginning of February. Now, if anything was a sacred thing at Prescott Circus, it was the Walk Through Black History. And they were going to try to upset all of our classrooms. The proposal they had every single class losing a few kids and then gaining a few different kids. Almost every grade was going to become split level. I think other schools would have accepted that, but what I loved about Prescott is we did not accept bad choices for our school. We stood up, and I remember making a huge deal out of this. Not me personally, but I attended, and we called somebody from downtown and got him in there and really put him through the ringer what a ridiculous choice this was and what it meant to us and how it would destroy us. And the funny part that I remember of my own was that I made the suggestion that, well, if you have to eliminate a kindergarten class and then bump every single grade, how about you take those kindergartners and you just split them up? Each one of us will take 2 or 3 kindergartners. Problem solved. They tried to say, well, that would not be educationally sound. We were like, well, what you're promoting here is not educationally sound. And I have to say we won that battle too. They ended up leaving us alone, which was kind of unprecedented at that time when they were being so strict about that stuff. Yay, Prescott.
Well, the funniest memories that I used to have when I was teaching at Prescott, my class, they would always do a lot of plays. And we would do Christmas plays, Thanksgiving plays, all kind of plays. And so that was very important. And it made the students happy, and it made me happy, it made the parents happy, and the whole school.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who am I not to be? I am a child of God. My first son, that's in the world. May God be your light of love. Won't hear it around.
I think Prescott has such a long legacy of families. The parent, I taught kids who I had also taught their parents. And now I have former students that are grandparents. And, they're not all still in the Prescott community, but they still feel a part of that community. There was something very special in that way. And in the years I was there, we also saw a lot of changes with the population going from being almost exclusively African American to now welcoming the Southeast Asian immigrants and the Latina community. And I think it's part of our legacy that we embraced whatever came to Prescott, got embraced and improved. And I think that is the legacy of Prescott.
Well, for one thing, the first thing I did with every class is we did a huge wall map of Africa and Africa, the motherland. And knowing that I had to do a lot of studying of Cambodian history, I had to do a lot of reading of Mexican history, I had to do a lot of reading of Indian history, because then I even had some Indian children too in my room, and it was like I couldn't stuff my history down their throat and ignore theirs. That would be what white folk had done to me all my life. Stuffed their history down my throat and made me accept it as mine. That's why I didn't know mine. So my thing was to make clear, and then when I did it, it was like showing them that how everything came out of Africa. Africa is the motherland of all humankind.
I think the legacy of Prescott is to continue to educate students of all grade levels and to make every student feel confident in themselves and to do their best, to work hard, and to be respectful toward themselves and others. And that way they will succeed.
Many people, when they came to Prescott, when they came to California, this was their school. So it was like a school of immigrants, I guess, transplants. And it didn't, because I was white, all races, not just black. It wasn't a black school.
What I found interesting about Prescott is, as an adult, I went in with all the things that I was going to teach the children, not realizing that for me it was going to be a huge learning experience also. I was going to really understand other cultures, other people, their point of view in a much deeper way than I did. And so I think the legacy of Prescott is understanding, mutual understanding of people from different cultures and different backgrounds, and our shared humanity and our different ways to approach that. It's a beautiful thing.
my inner drive stems from, you know, good teachers, great teachers. And Prescott is in the middle of an area where a lot of families are below the poverty line. And the only result for them as far as their kid going to school is Prescott. But people don't know, Prescott is like a diamond in the rough. It's truly great teachers here who care for not only your education, but who you are as a person and what you're going to provide to the future and to your community.
My theme was, when you walk through my doors, I was expecting excellence. Your excellence might not be Johnny's excellence, but I wanted your excellence, and I demanded it. I wasn't skipping on that. I don't care. My thing was children that I would get that could not read. They were reading like on 3rd, 2nd grade level, and they're going, "Oh, young, you got a rough class." My thing was talk to the children. Do you want to learn? Yes. So this is what we do. This is how you gonna learn. And we worked at it. We worked at it. We pushed. Told parents, push, push, push. And it always came out great. Just came out great.
What is the most important lesson you wanted to instill in your students?
I wanted them to understand that they had everything inside of them that they needed to soar to all kind of wonderful places in this world, and that the world really belonged to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you could find out by paying attention to what's around you and listening and gathering knowledge, and you could make it work for you. You just need to understand you have it.
Wait, how many titles do we have? This is too long. I did the green. Wait, we're supposed to glue this. Glue this and I'll trade some.
So my name is Stacy Wooten. I was Stacy Burden then, and I went to Prescott Elementary School. I was born in 1965, so that means I went to school in about 1969, 1970.
My name is John Robinson, and I attended Prescott from 1943 until 48.
Doris Jackson, and I went to Prescott the year 1958 through 1959.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Fields, and I attended Prescott Elementary School from 1986 to 1991.
Hi, my name is Sierra Walton, and I attended Prescott Elementary from 1990 to 1996.
Gwendolyn Price, and I attended Prescott School from 1950 to 1957.
Arnita Jones. At that time, it was Arnita Butler. 56 and 57.
My name is Ronald Muhammad, formerly known as Ronald Bean. I attended Prescott Elementary under the tutelage of Mrs. Howard and Mrs. Wright. That's the principal and the vice principal. And the head teacher back then was Robert Sparks. Mr. Sparks.
Rainer M. Wiley Price. Wiley's my maiden name when I was coming to Prescott.
Okay. And what years did you attend Prescott?
Let's go way back. I left in 1950, so I was at elementary for 3 or 4 years in the 40s. Then I went over to Prescott Elementary, which was right over on the corner right here, and I graduated from junior high school. We didn't call it middle, junior high school in 1950, and went to McClymonds. Graduated from McClymonds.
Anita English Deborah.
And what years did you attend Prescott?
I attended Prescott from 1937 till 1945.
Ed Howard.
And the years you attended Prescott?
I attended Prescott from elementary school, kindergarten through 9th grade. 1942 to 1949.
Please tell us your name and the years you attended Prescott.
My name is Timothy Smith. I am a preacher now.
Being on the, what do you call it, where you carry the signs?
Traffic?
Being on the traffic squad.
Okay.
And Mr. Cleaver was over the traffic squad.
Always a tomboy in the sports. So GAA, what we call Girls Athletic League, little letters I got, playing kick pin, kickball, softball, etc. Two stand out. One was we had a bank account. Every week we would save our money during the week and have a bank day, which we deposited, had a bank account, and the account was at Bank of America on 7th Street.
Memorable moments is just being so secure, feeling good, having just friends, classmates. We were all very close. It was just some of the best times of my life.
My most memorable moment really was my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Albertine D. Smith.
What was so good about her?
She was very understanding, patient, would send you cards at Christmas time.
What I love so much about Prescott when I attended was how the teachers put so much pride into teaching us and educating us, and really the parent involvement back then was very prevalent. I loved the festivals we used to have every year, and also just the love that the school gave me, and they gave me so many memories. And today I am now a preschool teacher. I got my motivation from Miss Drew. She was my favorite teacher.
One of the most memorable moments is me participating in the Walk Through Black History. So I know Miss Scott, she had all the different artists and different people throughout Black history to celebrate, and so I was one of the Supremes from Diana Ross and the Supremes. So I remember her bringing us some of her fancy dresses and some of her wigs, and she curled our hair with a piece of brown paper bag. So that was my first time ever seeing that done. I'm like, how are you gonna make curls out of this piece of paper? But it happened. So that was one of my most memorable moments, was Walk Through Black History. And also one of the art projects we had where we got to paint our murals inside the hallways, and it's still here to this day. So I always love walking through the hallways and seeing that, like, oh, I did that painting right there. So that's kind of a cool, memorable moment for me.
About Prescott School, number one was the principal, Mr. Gilson, and his horse. The horse's name was Molly, and we paid 5 cents to ride the horse on the days that he brought them in. I remember that in the neighborhood, nowadays people are bused to schools from all over the place, but all of us lived in the neighborhood. My mom's house was actually 2 blocks away.
Happy memory was just coming to school, being able to go to the legendary Prescott, so being enrolled with Miss Summers, and then going to Miss Williams, and then going to Miss Secret, and then going to Miss Scott, and then going to Mr. Sparks.
Well, Prescott was a really good family-oriented school, so we did a lot of different things. Even in kindergarten, it was fun. The teacher had a lot of activities, and we did a lot. And we only went for so long in a day at that time. We didn't go all day. But even with that, after we did a number of activities, and I would always be ready to go home before school was out. So she'd have to convince me to stay, and she did pretty good. I snuck out a few times, but I had to come back.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who am I not to be? I
Oh yeah, the Jack Benny Show. Yeah. Rochester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's who's Rochester he's referring to.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share?
Yeah. One more. The only time I cut was here in junior high. We wanted to see Tech play Castlemont. We asked permission. We said, "No, we give you guys permission." There were several of us. Give you guys permission. We can't do that too. So we cut. I thought the end of the world was coming. Well, that was my homeroom teacher. And everybody got on our case. Those things were never done. Cutting? Oh my goodness. No more cutting. I went through perfect attendance at Tech. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. We hope you guys join us for the celebration tomorrow.
Yeah, you want to see me?
Yes,
You want to fight? Oh, you showed her.
He's right there.
And point yourself out in the
Yeah,
picture.
Right there.
He's right there. Him?
And my buddy, Bates.
This is class of Bates?
Yeah, Bates. Yeah. Romel Bates. He became a beautician. And there's a fireman. Oh, where is he? Oh, Shook. Where is he? He became a fireman. He was a butcher. And this one we became owner of 3 pharmacies.
Wow.
Miss Ogden. Ogden, yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Who was your principal here?
My principal was Baker.
I asked you, how did the Black History Walkthrough come to be?
Well, it was Black History time, and we were thinking of a way that we could have all classes participate. So I said, well, why don't we have a walkthrough? Because it was based on a trip around the world. As in church, we used to have these fundraisers called a trip around the world, and you go to this house, it was Spain, this house, it was maybe Louisiana, this house, it was maybe Texas, where and that food was served there. So I said, why can't we do that, but each classroom presents a different concept, and we switch upper grade visit, then one day the primary visit uppers, and that's how it started.
Prescott here, Prescott there, Prescott name is everywhere, and old Prescott keeps rolling along. In and out, people shout, you can hear from every mouth that old Prescott keeps rolling along. For it's Prescott, shout out the letters loud and clear.
Prescott!
Wherever you go, you will always know that old Prescott keeps rolling along. Keep it rolling, Prescott keeps rolling along.
I love that.
$2. Dig deep, now hurt yourself.